up, guys? So I'm bringing you the third and last video of today. This is my winners and losers of the draft. I got 3 losers and 4 winners, I believe. And yeah, I did 2 videos earlier. I did grading the picks, kinda, and then I did some of my favorite second round fits. So yeah, let's get into this video. Winners and losers. First up, we got the Pistons. I love what they did. Ivy, Duran. Whew, it was a great draft. Ivy and Cade's going to be nuts. I love what the draft. I love the trade for Duran. I think it made so much sense. I think Duran makes sense with Cade, that lob threat, that defender in the down low. And yeah, whew, I love what the Pistons did with their draft. I really like Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey was one of my favorite players in this draft. I think he fits so well next to Cade. The Pistons are going to be title contenders here in a couple of years, as long as they keep making the right decisions. They have so far. And yeah, the Pistons had the best draft by far, in my opinion. Also getting that France guy, I don't remember his name, but he's a developmental guy that I think could be very good. So yeah, this draft was just phenomenal. I really love Jalen Duren. I really love Jaden Ivey. And the best part about this draft is that they were cool with taking both these players at 5. So yeah, there's not much more you can say. I love this draft for them. I give it an A+. I mean, I gave both picks A+ earlier in my video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Pistons draft, because I think they did very, very well. I think that's the wide consensus that they did very well. First loser, the Knicks. Really just a confusing team, to be honest. I don't understand their direction. I mean, I think I do, considering the reports. So they traded Ousmane Dieng to the Thunder, didn't get 12 back. They got 3 future first. And then they got Jalen Duren. They traded him and Kimbo to the Pistons to free up money. And all that money seems like it's about to go to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's not a bad player, and I'm glad he's getting his bag. He deserves it. But this is a really questionable move. I don't think Jalen Brunson moves the needle for you, especially the Knicks, who are just not – they're not a good point guard away. They're a couple pieces away. Maybe they get a Kyrie. Maybe they get KD. I don't know. But, the Knicks. Theirs isn't incomplete, but right now they're losers for me, because it depends on what they do in free agency and in the rest of the trade talks. But yeah, the Knicks are big losers for me. Next up on the winner's side, the Rockets. I love this team, man. Even though they're in my division, as a Grizzlies fan, I love what they're doing. Jabari Smith, as I'm not as high on him as other guys, but I think the value was great. Ty, great value. I think he's going to be a stud. Tari Eason, a really good defender who I think who fits very well. They also already got Jalen Green. They already got Alvaro Sengun. Kevin Porter Jr. looks like he's probably going to be on the way out. And they also have Eric Gordon to expend to get more future assets. So yeah, the Rockets team, I think they'll be back sooner than we know. And I think they could be a team that surprises people next year and years on. But yeah, the Rockets are big winners for me. And the bigger thing is what's happening with the Nets right now, which makes them probably even bigger winners, because of that James Harden deal is now looking like that Celtics and Nets deal from a while ago, where the Nets traded all their future assets for aging players to try to get a championship, and didn't really pan out. And now the Nets aren't panning out, with Kyrie probably leaving, Harden already gone, and KD probably going to be leaving. So yeah, I think that's a trade we're going to look back on, and it's gonna make the Rockets a really good team for a really long time, in my opinion. I think they could be a new dynasty in the future. Like next 4 or 5 years, they could start up a new dynasty because of all these young assets they're going to have and that they already have. So yeah, they're a big winner. Another big loser, the Kings. And I feel bad for Keegan Murray, because everyone's down on him. And it's not even down on Keegan Murray. It's just Jaden Ivey was there. And I know it doesn't make sense, but you could have got value in a trade. and they took who they wanted. He's an older prospect. He's a good scorer. I think he fits next to De'Aaron Fox, but it's just like, man, it just doesn't seem to move the needle like they want to. Maybe Keegan's a stud, but as an older prospect, you usually see what they are. Maybe Keegan's just a very good, like John Collins type, like really good power forward. Not like he plays like John Collins, but he's just like a good power forward for a while. But yeah. Also, another big L is they drafted Jaden Hardy, who's a developmental guy that the Kings could use, and they traded him to the Mavericks. Top 5 high school recruit. Even though he didn't play great in the Ignite last year, he was still good enough to go in the first round, and they had him in their lap and they traded him. And the thing I want to talk about most is the Kings are in a weird scenario, and they're really, really betting on themselves, which is odd because they're not a team that wins, but they're trying to win now. I guess they're trying to get in the playoffs, but I can name, like, the Kings are trying to be a win now team, and I can name probably 10 teams better. The Warriors are better. The Suns are better. The Grizzlies are better. The Clippers, when healthy, are better. The Lakers are better. The Pelicans are better. The Mavericks are better. The Nuggets are better. The Trailblazers are better. So that's 9 right there. So maybe they're the 10th seed, but I think even the Spurs might be better. I don't know if you agree, but I think the Spurs could be better than the Kings. So it's a weird scenario. The Kings are trying to win now, and the Sabonis trade was weird, and Tyrese Halliburton, the only guy that him and De'Aaron Fox are the only 2 guys that ever want to play there, and they traded them. Kings are in a weird situation. Davion Mitchell, even though I like the player, weird pick. Kings are just been losers for a long time. Next winner is the Pelicans. I love Dyson Daniels, one of my favorite players, my 5th ranked overall player that got in at 8, and also getting EJ Liddell in the second round, a really good rotational bench player that can come in and play some good minutes, score, although shorter for the position. He's a scorer, good defender. I think he could be one of those long-time rotational players on the bench. And Dyson Daniels is Lonzo Ball 2.0. His passing's great. His defense is good. Needs to get better at shooting, but I mean, you got CJ McCollum right next to her. I think Dyson Daniels and CJ McCollum fit perfectly. And I can't talk about how much this team has done well. As long as Zion plays, I think this team is going to do very, very well. And a potential lineup of Dyson is CJ and Brandon Ingram and Zion and Jonas Valanciunas just excites me. Even though I'm not a Pelicans fan, I'm a Grizzlies fan. So honestly scares me. But it also excites me because a guy just likes basketball. I think the Pelicans did very well in this draft. Dyson Daniels was the guy that just rose up boards, and he was one of the only players in the last couple of years that have passed the Wizards like really hard durability test, running like I don't know the word for it, but Dyson Daniels is a very athletic player. And EJ Liddell, like I said earlier, can't go unnoticed. I think he fell out of the first round, which most people thought he was going to go. And I think he will be just a very solid player for a really long time. And that's what Pelicans need, just need bench depth. Going on to my next losers, the Timberwolves. And I don't know if I've heard many people talk about the Timberwolves being losers. Not a big fan of the Kessler pick. I had him honestly ranked too high on my board after going back and watched tape. I couldn't change my final board after I made it. So he's a good shot blocker, but he also commits dumb fouls. I don't know if he's quick enough for the NBA. And then Wendell Moore, I don't think was a terrible pick, but I think there was better players on the board. And I also thought they should have got a point guard, and they basically traded the pick that became Ty for Wendell Moore, and I thought Ty fit better. I think D'Lo's on his way out, so unless they make a move for another point guard, that just doesn't make sense. I thought they should have attacked for point guard, maybe Kenny Chandler, who fell to Memphis, or Yeah, there was a plethora of point guard prospects that they just didn't go after, which didn't make sense to me. So I don't know if many people are talking about them being losers, but I am. I don't think the Timberwolves did very great, very good. I mean, I think Wendell Moore is going to be a solid player for a while, an older player, and Kessler, I think maybe could be good. I don't think he will be. I think look back and it'll be a wrong pick, but maybe I'm wrong, and we'll look back at me and be, hey, why are you so stupid? So yeah, Timberwolves were losers, in my opinion. Another last winner, the Pacers. And I wasn't high on Mathurin. I mean, I wasn't as high on Mathurin, but I think he fits them and what they want to do with Reese and if they're keeping Miles Turner. But really, where their winners come in are the second round. Getting Andrew Nemhard, very good backup point guard that can come in and play really good minutes for you right away. A very smart player who's just going to be a really good bench player for a long time. Getting him at 31 was really good value, in my opinion, and filling a good need. And then Kendall Brown at 48 was one of the better picks in the draft. I think he has a ton of potential, younger player, but good on defense, developmental on offense. And I think he could be a potential steal when we look back at it. But yeah. So these were my winners and losers of the 2022 NBA draft. Another teams I want to mention, the Thunder didn't make it in here because I didn't want to make it too long, but they're winners. I think the Grizzlies could low-key be considered winners, even though Laveria, he was a little bit of a reach in my opinion. He fits what Memphis wants to do, and they really wanted him from the reports. And then David Roddy, from what I didn't watch much tape on him. From what I'm watching, I think he's gonna play a real big role off the bench for the Grizzlies. And then Kenny Chandler, best friends with John Morant. I think it was great that he stayed in Memphis. Of course, I grew up close to Kenny Chandler. I went to school like 5 minutes from his school. Graduated same class as him. So yeah, it was really cool. I like the Wizards a little. I like Johnny Davis, but the Wizards kind of confused me with that pick because they still have Bradley Beal. Spurs, I think, had a good draft, but they're just piling up on the same kind of guys. I mean, I like Shohan. Malachi Branham was good. I like Blake Wesley and his potential. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know who you think were winners and losers in the comments. And yeah, have a great day. And that's it.